Hello everyone. So I thought I'd bring you along for a bit of behind the scenes, a bit of a photographer's perspective at today's wedding. So today's wedding's at Summergrove Estate. Pretty sure the suburb's called Carroll, but it's kind of like Bellamble Heights on the northern New South Wales side. So just leaving our home in Tugun, which is near Coolangatta if you don't know, and it's about 20 minutes from here, so not far at all. Beautiful sunny day outside today. It's really windy, so it's gonna be really interesting to see you know, how the venue holds up with the wind and stuff like that. But yeah, just really excited to bring you guys along, show you, I guess, venues from a photographer's perspective. So I'm gonna arrive today at about 10:45. I'll show you around, show you where, you know, I love photographing and some really cool spots. And then head in obviously to photograph today's wedding, which is a stunning winter's day. It's beautiful outside, but it is cold. I mean, it's 14 degrees, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, like, you know, you never know what the weather's gonna do on a wedding day, right? And I think that the really nice thing about these type of venues is that, you know, there's always a backup plan. There's always coordinators on site that are, you know, communicating with everyone from the couple to the vendors to you know, make sure the day not only runs smoothly, but with any weather that showcases itself throughout the day, that there's always a plan in place, you know, from rain to sun to windy days like today. No rain forecast today, which is obviously really good. It's been raining. Today's Wednesday. Sunday, Monday was wild. The rain was absolutely crazy here on the Gold Coast. So they'll be stoked with that. 100% they'll be stoked with that. And yeah, like I said, like if this is a venue that you guys have booked or looking at booking, I'll show you some insights once we get there. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Alright, so I should also explain the drive up to Summergrove is actually really nice. It's a short road from, you know, like Tweed, but it's a beautiful windy road on the way up. If you are driving back the night of a wedding, just be careful. You know, people do cut these corners, or there's potholes like that one. I'm not too sure how service, like generally you'll get mobile phone service up here, but I think it'd be quite difficult to get Ubers or taxis unless you're pre-organized. So I'll speak to the coordinator today about that. I do know that a lot of couples here will have like a bus that will, you know, pick all the guests up, and a lot of the guests seem to stay down in Kingscliff area or the Coolangatta area. But yeah, the drives up's really nice. You just gotta be careful because motorbikes do come around here quite often and quite fast. But I've definitely driven down up through here in the fog and that early morning. It's really beautiful. It's an incredible lookout. So if you want to take your time, you could probably come up earlier if you're driving, if you're a guest, and you could probably go for a little tiki tour around, have a look. There's a couple of lookouts on the way through. Yeah, just about to pull up actually now. All right, so here we are, we made it. Just about to head up the driveway. So if it's raining and you are driving, the driveway is steepish. It's steep enough that you don't want a big heavy van or anything like that in the wet. You should be okay. I mean, it's not too bad. It's definitely not off-road, so you don't need a forward drive. It's tar sealed. The road's really nice, and on the way up, which I'll show you guys soon, the barn is on your left, and you know, this beautiful lookout on your right. Just gotta be careful because the groundskeepers are generally cruising around because there's a lot of grass and that to mow. As we get right up to the top, it's pretty much right up to the barn where generally the reception's held. And parking's pretty easy as well, which we'll just scoot around this way. It's all set up. Looks like the wedding's all set up, which is really cool. And generally the cars here at this time are just the vendors. Hair and makeup would have started quite early. And here we go, we're pulling in now. All right, so we just arrived up at Summergrove. Behind me, you can see the barn. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's actually not as windy as it was down on the Gold Coast. So yeah, the barn's behind me. The whole team is setting up right now. So this is generally what happens in the morning. You might have just seen the whole view, the 360 view. From the barn, this is generally where the receptions are held. I'm not too sure if they do outdoor receptions here. I mean, the barn's really nice. It's got really good lighting and audio system, which is if you've got a videography team, it's really, really paramount that, you know, the audio quality is there. So I'm actually going the opposite way. Generally, obviously, you'd have your ceremony first. And you can do an outdoor ceremony here from my memory. It's real common, couples will use this chapel, which is in front of us. The outdoor ceremonies are really nice as well, which I'll show you guys that in a sec. But following the ceremony, which you'll see location is behind me here, a lot of times guests will head up to the barn area, and that's where they'll, you know, have drinks and canapes and stuff like that. You see some cars here arriving behind me. A lot of photographers will do their group and family photos down this way, so it works really cohesively where, you know, you come out of your ceremony greeted by all of your guests and family with hugs and kisses. It's a really nice moment. Straight into kind of group photos, and a lot of the time we use this shady hedge here, which gives us a lot of you know, even lighting and stuff like that. Or otherwise, sometimes if we're running really, really early, we'll head up to the barn, which you guys just seen up the top, and that's where canapes will do, and sometimes will be. And sometimes during that, that's where we'll get group and family photos straight after. So coming down to the chapel here, I hope it's not locked because I am really, really early. We'll come down here. Let's have a look. No, it's open. All right, so we're coming to the chapel here. I'll just close this door behind, and you can see walking backwards down the aisle. It's kind of weird. Huge space here. The really cool thing from a photographer's point of view is this. Let me take you over here. So walking through the aisles or the pews, whatever they're called here, there's this gap up and down the side, on both sides. And that's strategically put there so that, I can't speak on behalf of all photographers, but that's a way that we can walk up and down the side like this without disrupting the audience and the guests, without walking in front of mum and dad or whoever's really important, who would generally be seated up here. There's a lot of space here as well, as you can see. It's a beautiful view out here, where the couple, you know, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, you can have a look out there. The light's generally not like this, because as that sun goes higher and higher for a 3 p.m. ceremony, which is really common, they won't get that sun straight into their face. Like I said, there's heaps of space up here. A lot of times the musician, they'll set up here as well, but it gives a lot of space here for a video team to have flank cams, space to, if you need to walk in front, come back and, you can be here photographing without disrupting the audience. Personally, as the bride or whoever's entering through here, I will generally have a seat as she enters, where I'll photograph up through here to the groom and back this way to the bride, not standing in this aisle and the first thing they see is me. It's something like having a really wide aisle entry is a huge benefit for creatives, I believe. Otherwise, creatives, sometimes they'll photograph the entry will be up through here, but again, there's enough space to not have to be, be in the center of attention, which we're not. Generally, signing happens over this way, and then as the couple exit here, they could come out and be greeted with like confetti and flowers, which is a really nice space. You come out through here, and then you can be showered by confetti. Beautiful lighting out here right now. It's nice and sunny, so it's warm. And then they can have those hugs and kisses with their family. And there are toilets here as well, so it's really nice. There are toilets here, toilets up at the barn that guests and that can be accommodated. Also, I forgot to mention that There's a golf buggy here on site, so a lot of the time the coordinators and that, they'll bring, you know, elderly guests or people that don't want to walk or have any problems. They'll bring them down to the chapel, bring them right in there. It's really kind of accommodating for that. And then they'll take them back up actually to the barn, which is again another huge benefit. If you're thinking about your guests and thinking about who's attending your wedding, that's something to always consider. I always say to couples, you know, consider the elderly, consider logistics and how people can get around and move around. Other factors obviously to consider, you know, how far away from your ceremony to your reception is, how we're going to get there, what happens if it rains, all of that jazz. So that's the chapel here. I'll take you back up the top, so we'll head back up to the barn area. They're still setting up in the barn right now for today's wedding, but I'll show you how that looks, and then we'll have a look. They've got accommodation here on site as well, and generally a couple might elect to get ready on site. So the bride might get ready in the, you know, bridal suite, and the groom and the groomsmen might get ready in one of the villas. Again, a really nice way to keep it all logistically easy. You're not having your creative team running around halfway around the Gold Coast to try and document those getting ready moments. So we'll head up this way. This is a little shortcut I've just learned. I hope there's no spider webs. Generally been over 6 foot. I'm the one that gets them straight in the face first. Out of breath. I need to do more than just surfing. But yeah, up through here, you can see the chapel behind me here. It's a really nice sunset spot. You can see that sun up here. The sun as it sets will come down through here. Offers a really nice glow. Also out the front of that barn as well, get sunset. So a lot of the times, you know, if you're having a later sunset on your wedding day, you can just duck out, you know, during your reception for, you know, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So the whole reason for these videos is I want to give you a photographer's perspective. So from the inside, working at these venues, knowing the pros and cons, how to make things work seamlessly, and also the experience for the couple always being the you know, the most important thing. Right now I'm just walking over to one of many of the villas I've got. I think there's a cleaner actually at the moment. Hopefully there's no guests, and I don't want to walk in while a guest is getting dressed. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. No, I don't think there's anyone in this one. But they're all the same, these ones. So I think there's 4 villas along here. And generally, this will be one of the getting ready locations. I won't go in there, I don't think. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. It's not break and enter, is it? I hope not. Let's have a look. There you go. Knock, knock. Cool. We're good. So this is one of the villas. You can see this beautiful fireplace here. It's actually quite a bit of room. A lot of times they'll have the groomsmen and stuff all getting ready in here together. Nice even lighting, and double bed up here. It's only a 1 bedroom, but like I said, there's enough room in here to kind of mingle and chill out before the ceremony. You generally see all the guests arriving up. Let me close this because I think that room just got cleaned, so I don't want to make it all messy. Again, if it's raining, we've got overhead here. And then a lot of the time if say the groom or whoever's getting ready in there is a little bit overwhelmed or feels a bit stressed, we'll come down here where it's just away from the movement of the day, and the guys will just chill out down here and have a few beers. If they drink beers, that is. That's a total generic condition response. So yeah, there's 3 or 4 villas along this way, and actually on the other side of Summergrove there's also more accommodation, which we'll head back up to now. So I've made my way back up to where the reception generally gets housed in their barn. And like I said, with that sunset kind of going down, a lot of times a couple will just be up through here on sunset, all the guests here, so really close by. It's not to mean that's the only location here to be photographed at, absolutely not. There's so many opportunities around here, and I'll show you the one where I go a little bit adventurous. Not for everyone, but I really like going down the old side of Summergrove to get diversity. So I'll take you up that way. Headed up to the other side of Summergrove Estate. Even people that get married here don't come over this side. This actually here was where they used to actually do the old receptions. So a lot of the vendors out there will know, a long time ago they were doing receptions here. From my understanding, Summergrove back in the day, before it was converted to a wedding venue, was actually a golf course. So I'm pretty sure this was like, I don't know what you'd call it, the golf house or something like this, golf club house. And they used to do receptions here back in the day. I haven't seen it utilized for a wedding at all, but what I wanted to show you was actually down this way. So I'm gonna walk. They've actually just concreted this new path, which is really nice. This used to be grass. Down here is actually where one of the outdoor ceremony locations are. So right here, this beautiful view. It's literally just behind the barn. So if you just keep walking behind the barn, you can come up through this way. And I'm not sure if you guys can see, but another one of the villas are down here where sometimes the guys will get ready. Very similar to the front villas that I just showed you guys at. But what I actually wanted to show you is, let me see if I'm gonna go off-road here. I hope I don't slide. Oh. All right, what I actually wanted to show you was a little area down here. So just down here, you can be down here, you get this beautiful view out this way. It's really easy walk. Like I said, it's just about a little bit of diversity and finding different spots. But from a photographer's perspective, I think the biggest thing for us is that we're guided by the light. So although we have these ideas, we'll photograph here, we'll photograph here. For us, light is the most important, other than, connection and all that. Of course, that's important. But photographing a terrible light in a nice location is not the same as photographing a nice light in an average or terrible location. So light is our first requirement when deciding where we're gonna take some photographs. It's actually a pool down here. Years and years ago, I wanna say like 10 years ago, I did photographs down there. It's also a tennis court. I feel like it's been redone, that tennis court, because lately I've seen photos from couples that have either got married and gone down there for photos or have done like a styled photo shoot. But really easy accessible around here. A lot of times you'll find a guest up this way, just, enjoying sunset. The sun, like I said, sets on the other side, and then we'll generally get beautiful colors and hues, pink tones on that other side. Right now I'll take you guys back into the barn where we can see the reception set up. All right, so we're back at the barn. Like I said, it's really easy to walk around here. Again, massive benefit as a photographer. But I don't know if you guys can see, but just up here, there's fairy lights, or festoon lights, I'd probably rather say. It's really beautiful. You can actually do your first dance out here. It's really soft lighting. You sometimes even get some beautiful hues in the sky, and it gets your guests out and they get to enjoy the location, which is really nice. When we're stuck inside all the time, especially if it's a beautiful night, and sit back, check out the stars. It's all still getting set up in here, but I will take you in. Every wedding setup is completely different. So I'll take you in. This is generally where the dance hall will happen. This is where it pops off. The ladies are doing all the setup here. So every couple obviously have their own little way to do it. Arctic Fox are doing today's styling, around 50 guests. So here we go. 2 long running tables. This is the ideal format to get candid moments throughout the day. Duck around this. The reason why I always say long tables are the ideal thing is because it allows your creative team to move around freely. With round tables, you've got to kind of walk around the table a lot, and people can see your presence, which I don't know. I don't personally like that. I would rather be on the outsides photographing in. And a lot of time, you might get mum and dad sitting across from each other and they can be having a conversation and you can get their action and reaction. That's a really beautiful moment. Whereas if it is round tables, like I said, it's really hard to move around. Again, today they're just going to be them two and their two children, which again is a really intimate, special thing to have, you know. But I've seen this set up multiple different ways. I think because the whole team here obviously do a lot of weddings, I would suggest speaking to the stylist, speaking to the coordinator, and ask them what their take would be on the vibe that you're going for. So today's beautiful white, elegant, rich colours in the flowers, and the overhead installation, if you can see up here, is just going to add that extra element, just dressing this place up. So, like I said, there's heaps of space to move around in here. I think I'll figure out what the total maximum capacity is, but I'm pretty sure I've done weddings where it's 100 plus, maybe 130, 120 type thing. But as you can see, if I was photographing here, I can photograph without being a nuisance or standing in someone's way. For me, that's ideal, not for every creative, but for me, this is the ideal setup to get beautiful candids of guests at reception. Like I said, from here, they go straight to there, and that's the dance floor, straight through those doors, and they can do their first dance outside. Just lastly, we go through here, the bar. It's quite important, right? The bar, and then actually through here into one of those doors. I won't go through there right now. That's the bridal suite. That's where generally the bride will get ready. So the cool thing is, if there's any questions, the team can go ask, and we can go and recorrect or rectify whatever's happening. We walk straight out here, and now we're out the front of the barn. So that's the inside perspective of Summergrove Estate here in Carroll or Balambal or northern New South Wales.